we go. Yep, so let's work into our hips, our back, and just get some nice stretching going. Nothing too, we're not gonna really build that much strength tonight, just breathing and stretching. Oh, my sister left. Okay, so let's come to our mats and we'll just come seated to start, but we're eventually gonna make our way down into lying on our backs. So just whenever you get there and however you get there. There we go. Yeah, just coming onto the mat. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I get even like on the mat, I already feel a little bit more relaxed. It's like that conditioning response, right? So all I have to do is sit on my mat and I'm already feeling better. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the camera for a bit. Okay. Yeah, sitting on our mats. And then we are going to come down on our backs, lying down. Just taking a moment to let everything sink into the floor. We can hear you, Juanita.
Oh my gosh, can you hear me?
Yep. Okay, some yoga is definitely needed over there in that household. Just kidding. Yeah, so we're just lying on our backs. Is there anything I can do to help, Juanita?
I just had you on mute and I couldn't figure. Did you hear me just say fuck?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
We all loved it,
I
though.
definitely need.
Just that,
I definitely need yoga right now.
Yeah.
I can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Just a little reminder, we're all, we're all just human, and of course, we just say fuck right before our yoga class. That's actually, oh my gosh, there's actually a yoga class called, oh my gosh, what was it again? I forget what the style is called, but you actually swear during it. I can't remember what the style is called. So you're actually just doing that type of yoga right now. Oh, rage yoga, I think it's called.
Totally.
So,
it was intentional.
It was intentional, exactly. All right, so we're just actually starting on our backs. So we're gonna lie down, back on the floor. Feet, knees can be bent if you want, or you can just stretch your legs out. We're just gonna take a moment to come into the space here, lying on our backs, letting our body sink into the mat, and just letting the day roll off of us. And you can just take some deep breaths here, feeling yourself sinking in, relaxing, just letting go. Feeling your stomach muscles relax, letting go of any tense butterflies that are hanging around in there. And then just feeling your chest open up, relaxing your shoulders. And then moving your attention into your neck, your jaw, allowing that attention alone to induce relaxation in those muscles. And then we'll take one nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, you're going to sigh it out. Sighing helps to release tension, just the same as swearing, I think. Like letting out a nice old fuck is going to release tension. So now I want you to move your head just side to side. So you're just looking over to the right and looking over to the left in a nice fluid motion. Again, your legs can be flat out straight on the floor, or you can have your knees bent, whatever feels good. But essentially, we're just releasing tension in our neck now by rolling our head side to side. You can let out another sigh. Take in another deep breath and let it out. Good, and then let that go. And we're gonna take our right knee and bring it into our chest. Straightening the left leg out on the floor and just pulling the right knee into the chest. And you might want to rock it around a bit. I like to make circles, like small circles with the knee, and you're just guiding those circles with your hands. Like your hands are gripping around your shin and you're kind of guiding your knee in those circles. This should feel good on the hips and the lower back. And then switch directions if you're making that circle. And if you don't want to make the circle, you can just you could just have stillness and just hold the knee to the chest. I just put a block under my head. I don't know if anyone else needs that, but sometimes when I'm lying flat, I do need a block under my neck for support. All right, and when you're finished those circles, we're just gonna now bring the right knee over to the left into a twist. So you can just feel your right knee flopping over to the left. You can take your left hand to your right knee just so you can like bring it down a little bit, add a little bit of pressure. Maybe take the block actually out from underneath your neck if you had it, and then opening up to the right with your right hand. So hopefully you should be feeling this opening in your chest, in your underarm, your right glute, and then your spine is getting this massive release while you're twisting to detox. And when you inhale, you might feel yourself lift up off the ground a bit, and then on the exhale, you might feel yourself sink more deeply. Awesome. Hopefully this feels good. And after the next breath, we're going to bring that knee back into the chest, hugging it in one more time, and then taking the heel and straightening that leg if you can, and pressing the heel against the ceiling, towards the ceiling, sorry. So we're lengthening through our calf muscle and our hamstring muscle. So at first, you might just be pointing that foot straight, the heel of the foot straight up to the ceiling, and that might be a stretch enough for you. Like for me, this is an intense stretch. And then so what you can do is on the inhale, you can bring that leg in, and then on the exhale, stretch it up. So this is going to be a moving stretch. Inhale, bringing the knee in. Exhale, yeah, stretching it up. And each time that you bring it in and then let it go again, you might feel like it is stretching a little bit further, either up or towards you. And then once you're up again, you're going to keep your heel pointed now up to the sky, and just breathe here momentarily. For me, this is really intense, especially because I'm flexing my toes pretty hard. So I'm getting that really intense stretch through the back of my leg. All right, and when you're ready, you can let that go. And we're just gonna switch sides. So bringing the left knee in now, hugging it into the chest, and you can straighten your right leg out if you want, or whatever feels best. And we're gonna start rocking this left knee now side to side, and then moving into swirls with the knee, so circling. This should feel good on your lower back, on your hips. And the movement, so it's getting into the hip joint, giving it a little bit of lubrication, but also the rocking movement is soothing to the nervous system. So then switching sides, and it's like that repetitive, somatic motion that's signaling the nervous system to go into its parasympathetic state. Awesome. Okay, and when you're done that, then we're just going to twist now to the right. So you can take your right hand on top of your left knee and just guide it over to the right gently. And then if you want to increase the stretch, you're going to reach your left hand out to the left side. I actually kind of reach it diagonally instead of into a T. So I reach it diagonally, and I find that that gets more into my pecs and my underarm. There's a lot of muscles in there that get really tense. So once you're here, seeing if you can take a full deep belly breath. If you can't, you need to come out of it a little bit. And on the inhale, you might feel yourself coming out of the pose a bit, and on the exhale, relaxing even further down into it. Just 2 more deep breaths here. Good, and then coming back into center. And now we're going to get into that left hamstring. So again, pushing your foot up and trying to make a footprint on the ceiling. So you're trying to move the leg out of the hip. And then if you want, you can stretch your right leg out, or you can have your foot on the ground, whatever feels better. And on the inhale, lifting up. No, on the inhale, moving that knee towards your chest. And then on the exhale, pushing it to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, pushing. So it's this movement that we're getting more motion. So more blood flow, and then hopefully more opening in the muscle there. And then you can just keep it still for a couple of breaths. See how that feels. It's pretty intense, so you do want to definitely breathe into this one. Or maybe it's not as intense for you guys. I don't know. So one more breath here. Good. Bring that foot back to the ground now. And we're going to push up onto our hands. So now we still have our feet on the floor, but we're just on our hands now. And we're gonna do some cat-cows, seated cat-cows. So for these, you just grab your knees, open up your chest, lengthen your spine, make sure your shoulders are relaxed. And then on the exhale, rounding your back, opening up the back, opening your shoulders, and then on the exhale, moving your heart through and forward, looking up, opening the chest, and then exhaling, rounding. Inhale, opening up. Open up the throat and the heart, and then exhale, rounding. Do a few more of those, really feel into it. Feeling your spine moving one vertebrae at a time. If you can even imagine that. Imagine those spines in your chiropractor's office, and those spines, you know, it's just like hanging there. Imagine yours and how it's moving, rolling back and forth. Good. And then coming to neutral, we're going to cross our legs now, if that feels okay for you. And we're going to do a nice forward fold, but that's also going to open up the hips here a little bit. So we are doing like the most subtle poses tonight, but I feel like, well, at least for me, they're not subtle inside my body. Like it might like subtle to an outsider, but in my body, I can feel so much happening. So with this one, you're lengthening up, making sure your crown is striving towards the ceiling. Your core is actually quite engaged, and then you're gonna walk your fingers out in front of you and just fold over your legs. And if that doesn't feel good on your knees, you can just straighten out your legs like that and do a forward fold that way. So if your legs are straightened out, that's going to get more into your hamstrings, but you're still going to get the benefits of a forward fold. And then if your legs are like this, if they're crossed, you're going to get benefits of opening through the hip and the lower back more. And then I'm going to get you again in this forward fold. I want you to be moving back and forth in that rhythmic motion. So we're going to walk our hands over to the right. And then exhale when you get there. And then inhaling, you're walking over to the left and exhaling. And then inhaling and just kind of moving back and forth. What does it feel like in your back? Where do you feel the most tension? Where do you feel the most release or movement? And then you can, if holding it on one side feels good, go ahead and do that now. And then just breathe. So if your hands are outstretched to the right, you're gonna feel this in your left side, the left lower back. Good, and you can even, as you breathe in, you might move out of the pose a bit. As you breathe out, you might crawl your hands forward even more. Yeah, you can stay there for another breath if you like. If that's getting sore on your knees, and even if it's not, change the cross of your legs now. So we're just going to switch the cross up. The other thing you can do is you don't have to be in cross-legged. You can have the right foot just in front of the left shin too, if that feels better. And then we're just going to do the same thing. So opening up your chest, making sure your crown is lifted, and then you're folding at the hips. Might not be a big forward fold, it might be a little one. But you want to keep your seat grounded on the floor. You don't want it to come off, okay? So the seat is grounding in. It's like stuck on the mat. Good, and then the hands are moving forward. And now moving back and forth if you want, or just staying in one spot, whatever works. But the forward fold is really soothing on your nervous system. I find when I'm moving, my thoughts don't wander as much. Good, and then if you want to hold it on the other side, the side you haven't held it on yet, and then go ahead and just hold there and breathe into that side now. So I'm reaching towards my left and breathing into my right side. You should be feeling this probably in your hips, lower back. And you can let your head go. So you're feeling a release in the neck and in the spine as well. So my head is resting on my knee, but your head might just be up in space, but let it go. It's like a passive stretch here. And when you're ready, you can come on out, straighten your legs in front of you because the knees are probably a little sore now. So if you want to do a bit of a windshield wiper just to release everything, that always feels good. Or if you want to have your legs straight out and just kind of shake them back and forth, just to release everything. Awesome. So we will come up very gently and easily and carefully. We're going to come up to standing at the top of our mats. If you want to get a drink, feel free to do that. We'll spend a little bit of time in some standing poses and then go back down into Shavasana. Yeah, have your blocks ready if you want them. I always need my blocks close by just in case. So yeah, coming to stand at the top of your mat and then just rolling your shoulders up, back, and down a couple times. Releasing any tension that accumulated there. And then check down at your feet. Make sure your toes are spread as far apart as you can so that you get this like really good base on the floor. And then we're just gonna do a really easy lunge. So taking your right foot and bringing it back. And just, you don't even have to have that much space in between the feet. You can do a really simple lunge that is still super effective. And if the balance is difficult, then make sure your feet are farther apart from each other. All right, so let's get into the front of the right hip. And then also, I think we'll do movement on this one too, because I'm really feeling the movement tonight. So we're gonna reach up on the inhale, both hands coming up to the ceiling. And then on the exhale, we're going to spread our wings and reach behind us, open up our chest, and kind of do like a circle. Yeah, you guys got it exactly. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling, lifting up, looking up, and exhaling, opening up. Big circle, opening the chest. Let's do that one more time. Selena, please modify if your shoulder's not liking it. It seems like it's doing okay. And exhale, opening up, opening your chest. And then if you're able to, drop the back knee to the ground. Awesome. And now we're in a low lunge. We're just gonna do an easy twist. So not putting that much weight on our right arm, but bringing your right hand next to your left foot. We're just doing a super easy twist. Now taking your left hand to your left knee and then pushing open your chest to the left. Yeah, so it's just like super simple, easy pose, easy twist. Nice job. Yeah, looks great. Not too much weight on the right hand. It's basically just there to kind of guide you. And just a couple breaths here. And then we're going to, in one nice motion, on the inhale, you're gonna open up into Warrior 2. So you're facing yeah. Oh, you guys got it. Okay, no more cues from me. Awesome. You're sinking down into Warrior 2, checking that your shoulders aren't up by your ears. Awesome, looks good, you guys. And just feeling your hips opening here. And then we'll do a reverse warrior. So right hand comes back, left hand comes up. Oh, and you're opening up the side body. Good. And then in the breath in now, you're going to take that right foot and swing it to the top of the mat. Nice. So now we're at the top again. And we're just going to do a quick half sun salutation before we do that on the other side. So inhaling, reaching up, stretching up and looking up, and then exhaling, diving forward from the hips. Awesome. Let's just dangle here for a second. Staying in forward fold.
Hold on to either elbow with both hands. No, hold on to the elbows with both hands and rock side to side. Good, and then taking the hands to the shins, we're gonna look up, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale again, letting everything go. Forward fold. And then inhaling, halfway lift again. Back flat, shoulders pinched and engaged, and then exhale again. On the inhale, sweeping on up. Hands reaching up, lifting to the ceiling, and then hands come to heart. Bring all that energy back down and ground yourself. Awesome. Okay, we'll go to the other side now. So grounding down through both feet. Maybe you want to spread the toes and just making sure that they're all even on the mat. All four corners are pushing down evenly. And then taking the left foot now and bringing that back into our high lunge. Again, it can be just a simple, sweet little high lunge. And then once you're situated there, so make sure, like for me, I need to bring my feet farther apart just to get that balance, especially because I know I'm going to be moving my upper body. And then tucking your hips in a little bit to protect your lower back. Good, and once you're situated in the lower half, then you can open up and lift up your hands to the ceiling on the in-breath, and then on the exhale, reaching back, opening the heart and the chest. So we'll do that twice more. Reaching, inhale, looking up, exhale, make it the biggest possible motion you can, except for Selena. Inhaling, reaching up. And exhaling, reaching back, opening your chest. Good, and then dropping that back knee now. Whew. That was a little bit of a workout. We're gonna go into that easy side twist. So for the easy side twist, you're just gonna tense your left fingers down, and then right hand comes to right knee, and you're using your right hand to open up your chest. I think that feels so good on the upper back. So giving your upper spine some movement and some opening. So just breathing in that twist, a couple more breaths. And then from here, you know where we're going. We're gonna get into Warrior Two. So on the inhale, so you're kind of using your core and your strength of your legs to kind of push you up, and you can have your hand on your knee and push you up and get it into that Warrior Two as gracefully or ungracefully as you can. So then we're in Warrior Two. And just holding here for a moment. Sometimes stillness is really nice. It allows you to have perfect form, right? So tucking your tail. Yeah, you guys look great. And then on the inhale, moving back into Exalted Warrior. Feeling your right side opening up. Good, and then moving back into Warrior Two. Now we're gonna bring both of our feet and point them forwards. So the legs are still pretty far apart. You can release your hands now. Maybe shake out the shoulders a little bit just in case you accumulated tension there. Yeah. Nice, and then we're gonna do a wide leg forward fold. So you guys can put your, you can do your hands however you like, but I think the version I'm gonna take, just realized it's pretty dark. There we go. The version I'm gonna take is, I'm gonna do, I think it's Virabhadrasana 3. So that's where you're clasping your hands behind your back, and it's going to be a really intense shoulder stretch. So opening up your chest, pushing your heart forward, looking up, making sure your shoulders are not up by your ears, and then you can exhale, folding from the hips first. And then the last thing that happens is that your arms come over your head, or they yearn to come over your head. Good. And then breathing there, if that feels good. If it doesn't, just release your hands and place your hands to the ground very lightly. And then if you want to move back and forth, I'm going to move back and forth in Skandasana. So you can, if you feel like you want to move back and forth in Skandasana with me, go ahead and release your arms, bring your hands down to the mat. And then we're basically just going to bend, a very slight bend into the left knee. Yeah, and then into the right knee. So you're walking your hands back and forth too. So you can get your, yeah, exactly, good. And then if one side is calling to you to just stay there in stillness, so you should feel this go very deeply in the inner part of your thigh. I mean, I know I do, but everybody's anatomy is different. If one side is calling to you, or if stillness is calling to you, then go ahead and stay there. You shouldn't be accumulating any tension through your neck. So your hands are just tented there to kind of guide you. Good, and then coming back to the center, we're gonna put hands to hips and bend the knees and come on up slowly. Very nice. Awesome. And then let's just shimmy our feet together. Hands come to the side. And roll your shoulders up and back a couple more times. Good. And then we're going to make our way to the floor, but we're not going to make our way to our backs. We're going to make our way to our stomachs. So what you can do then is come to the top of your mat. And you can even just do another forward fold, and then taking your knees, coming back and all the way down to the belly. Just get there however you can. It doesn't have to look pretty, although it will, because you guys always look great no matter what. And then we're just gonna end up in Sphinx pose here. Yeah, you guys are there, awesome. So Sphinx pose, we're just feeling that like beautiful stretch through our belly and up into our rib cage and chest, and maybe a little bit through your throat if you are looking up, making sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. And your elbows are pushing into the mat while your hands are spread out and kind of not gripping, but definitely pushing. Good. This pose enhances our ability to breathe deeply into our rib cage. Awesome. And then from here, we are going to push back into child's pose. And this time, today, let's try our child's pose, if it works for you, with our knees together. So not wide-legged like we usually do, knees together. And when you come down, actually I need to have my forehead on a block. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have a block. Or if you have a pillow, anything to rest your head on when you come down. I want this to be a total passive child's pose. So your arms, your hands are going to be literally be just right next to your head with your elbows bent. So it's supposed to be like 100% relaxing. Good, there should be no pain in your knees or your shoulders. Nice. I like that Vera's using her props. Wonderful. And if this does hurt your knees, then you can always go on your back and just knees into chest, kind of like we started the class. All right, but if this suits you and this is relaxing, this is where we're going to end the class. So I'm just gonna have you guys continue in your child's pose. You can also widen your legs if that feels better. And I'm just gonna have you continue here. The video is gonna stop, but I'll have you continue with 5 deep breaths and just bringing your mind back to the present, letting your body sink into the mat one more time, incorporating all of the work that you just did, incorporating all of the movements, just letting yourself completely go before you get up and move on with the rest of your night. And after you're finished the 5 deep breaths, slowly walk yourself up, remove the block, and swing your legs over and come into seated pose, crossing your legs now in front of you. And we're just going to take one cleansing breath before we end the class. So inhaling, exhaling, sigh it out. Amazing job tonight, you guys. Thank you so much for coming to be with me during this class. Thank you so much for letting me teach you and guide you through. I hope that you have a great rest of your night. And namaste. I'll see you again soon. Good night.